Hi everyone, welcome back. So tonight we're going to be doing round 15 and as you can see this is growing really nicely and is really starting to take shape. So we will continue with our 1920 classic circular shawl pattern. Okay, and I'm just going to do the first 2 chain here, so 1, 2, okay, and then it's telling me then to work 2 treble, but I've got to remember that since the 13th row, when they say 2 treble, they are including my chain, so I do 1 first of all, okay, and that's my first 2 stitches. Okay, and then I'm going to increase 1, which is what they mean by that terminology is just 2 treble into the same stitch. Okay, so I'm going to do 1 and 2. Okay, I'm using a 3 millimeter crochet hook as well, and then the next bit is to do 2 treble in single stitches. So I'll do a second treble stitch here. Okay, and then I'm going to do 2 chain, going to miss a DC, and then I'm going to do a DC into the, so miss a 2 chain, miss a DC, and DC into the next 3 stitches. Okay, so I'm going to do, so that misses 1 there, and I'm going to do 1, 2, and 3. Okay, then I'm going to do 2 chain, and then I am going to then continue with my pattern, and I'm going to do 2 treble, and then I'm going to increase 1. I might be invaded by Lulu tonight. No, she's going down, I think. She has decided, you might just see her tail. You can't sit there, Poppet, because that's on my wool. Okay, you can't sit there, can you? Are you wanting the limelight as well? I know you do, Pip. I'm surrounded by animals here. So I've got Pip on the floor who can hear things outside, and she's been unsettled all day. She did go on a massive walk, which we thought might have tired her out, but it hasn't. It's just made her a little bit more sort of like unsettled. Lulu has just come in. She's been fed, so she doesn't need anything to actually eat. She's just trying to find somewhere to settle, to sleep before she goes out tonight on the razzle. Right, so now Lulu has disappeared off of the table. We will start again, and I will try. I know, Pip, I will try to be serious here. It's quite a bit enough, sweetheart. That's just people walking past, darling. Right, so let's continue with what we were doing on round 15. Okay, so round 15, this is just basically, so the increase is the way that we can basically increase the size of what we're doing. So it will make the circle the right shape, so that it's nice and flat at the end. So this is my 3 DC. I'll put these in and pull them through, and to go again. And then we're going to do this one here, which is treble, treble, out. I'm just going to quickly unravel that just so that I don't knot it as I'm crocheting, because I quite often do that before. Like if I get as my wool, as I go into my ball of wool and you start using more of it, sometimes it can come unravelled and then you end up knotting it, and I get into all sorts of pickle with it. So I just find it easier sometimes just to straighten it out first of all. Been quite a blustery day here today. Can't wait for the summer to come, if I'm honest. Bit of warmth in the air. It's still been very cold. Right, so I'm just going to do this. I'm going to do a treble. And do my second treble. I'm going to do 1, 2, that's my increase, and I need to just be aware about my tension. Then this is my next one here. I'm just going to do 2 chain and then 3. See this bit here, this was a little bit of my wool was sort of a bit scraggly in one bit, so what I'm going to do is when I come to weave in everything, I'm going to just weave this into the stitch so that it's you can't see it. But I decided not to finish my thread and start again because it wasn't actually knotted. Sometimes you do come across a knot within your ball of wool. I would recommend when you do that, if you're knitting, I would always make sure that you don't have that in the middle of a row, only because it just makes it very lumpy and bumpy and not very good. So what I would actually do with crocheting is, if there had been a knot, I would have finished it and then sorted out the wool so that I could start again with it and just remove the knot completely. It happens sometimes, not as often as you think it would actually. Well, I don't think it is with the balls that I get. I don't find it happens that regularly, but just occasionally you've got a join in it. So I'm going to do this, and as you can see, this is slowly taking shape, and this is where it will start to build its volume. It feels very dark today. I've been trying to be a little bit more careful since I had to redo my 8 and 9 round a couple of times. Oh, there, like I said, be more careful, and then she goes into a treble stitch when I'm meant to be doing a double. I do when I'm doing this, my mind just switches to different things and I become easily distracted. The other thing I do is I get quite impatient to get to the other end, and I do keep checking to see how far I am, which is, when it's around, it's quite they can take some time, especially when as it gets bigger, and that's half my battle, is then that I have to steer off getting fed up with doing the same thing over and over again. Right, let's just keep going and see how we can. So I've missed a DC and now I'm going into my 3. Sounds like the wind's getting up again. It was fairly mild this morning in sort of like in the start of the day. I can hear it sort of sounding quite like it's picking up out there. Pippa's asleep on the floor. She needs it, bless her. She had a nice long walk in the woods today. This is where I quite often forget to do my increase, so when I come to do my next round, that's when I've always had problems previously in the past. So I'm trying to remember that I do need to increase it in the middle, and then that's what will help me to build the middle bit of my pattern. Oops, that's like kind of hooked it wrong, isn't it? Like in the evenings when it's cold and windy and you can sit in front of the fire and do something like this, or you can just sit snuggled up under a blanket doing this. It's quite relaxing. With a TV on, a cup of tea by the side, or even a glass of wine. Wool is a cat's plaything, isn't it? They see that you've got a ball of wool, they see it moving and they just think it looks so curious. And it's like, ooh, that's a toy for me to play with. 2, so I'm just going to do my 3DC. That's 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to miss 1, sorry, 2 chain, and then I'm going to go back into my trebles. The thing that can put people off sometimes is when they start doing projects, is the length of time some things can take, and they do take a long time, you know, especially when you're trying to work out things, you're trying to work out the pattern and stuff like that. You go wrong, you have to figure out how to get back on track. You know, you might not want to take it places to do while you're away for weekends and things like that. What I would recommend is maybe, you know, if you feel comfortable having 1 or 2 projects on the go, just because sometimes if you do get a little bit fed up or you get stuck on a project, it's quite helpful to be able to pop it down, not get frustrated with it, and then do something else. You know, or even read a book, have a break from it, because then when you come back to it, you come back to it with a clearer head, and you've sometimes had, without realising it, you've subconsciously had time to think about it and how you can fix it, or another thing to try. You've researched it a little bit, and that can help sort of like with sort of getting past that mental block in that frustration with the piece that you're actually working on. And some crafting projects will go beautifully, and they will just, you will love them, and they will just be so nice to work on. And you will have those ones that will be that little bit of a, that will be a little bit of a little troublesome piece, and you sort of think, I've not done anything different to what I did before, and you know, I'm doing my stitches the same, I'm using the same wool or something like that, and it just won't go right. And it's just those times when you need to think, right, okay, let's have a little bit of a break, and then we'll come back to it when it's had time to calm down, and I've had time to calm down. You put a lot of love and energy into your pieces of work, so it's, you know, it's understandable that you can get frustrated with them. The little strange noise you can hear in the background is my dog asleep. She is asleep. She's not quite snoring, but she nearly is. But she is chilled out on the floor. Right, then I need to do a DC. noticed Lulu left her hair behind. And just take that off. Sometimes when I'm doing this and I'm not really thinking of anything, I just count in my head. It's quite nice to count, so I just sort of like just count what I'm doing, which sometimes helps me not to go wrong, because sometimes I go wrong. This is my second one. Third. Fourth. And then I'm going to do 1, 2 chain. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 2 chain. I'm going to do treble. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2 chain, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, got a couple of little new patterns I'm going to be trying. Things that I've not really done that I'd just like to give a go. So I'll share that here when I come to do them. You will hear all my frustrations and things that have not gone right. Right, this is coming up nearly to the end of the round. Just do fingers and thumbs tonight. I don't know why. I don't think I've pulled my work as tight as I have done yesterday as well. Right, so now we're coming up to the end here. So we're going to do our 2 chain. We're going to do our, out the way, going to do our DC, DC, and a DC. Going to do our 2 chain, and then we're going to do 1, 2, and then we're going to increase 1 here, and then we're going to do our last 2 in here, and then we're just going to do our slip stitch to join the 2 pieces together. Okay, so just come back here. I've left it a little bit bigger to try and, yeah, that was better, look, because I've got that bit there. So thank you for watching, everyone. I do appreciate it. Please like and subscribe if you like what I do. This is round 15. Okay, please join me for the next video to see us do round 16. Thank you for watching. Happy crafting. Take care.